Elli, thanks so much for being here today. Looking
Pleasure.
forward to your insight. Okay, 50 years in journalism, both stateside in America and here with the Jerusalem Post. That's a lot of years. You're watching the media in action with everything that's happening in Gaza. You're seeing what's coming out on all the different outlets, including the AP on down. In a nutshell, real quick, before we dive in deeper, what's your take?
The media as a whole, I have to say, after 50 years, I have less and less respect for the media. It's, especially in the 21st century, it's pretty agenda-driven. And so I know, because I've been on the street, the things that they're saying and how they're reporting, and especially out of Gaza, it's a false narrative, period. To understand that almost everything, I mean almost, we're talking 97%, of everything that comes out of Gaza is manipulated and controlled. Because if you are an independent journalist in Gaza, you will not survive.
And I don't think people know that.
No, they don't.
And they don't know that how the information, they just assume that we have reporters everywhere in Gaza independently reporting, but yet the information comes from the health ministry there, right? And then it comes from Gaza journalists. And so when you hear those are the sources, what does that necessarily mean based on your experience?
Anything that comes out of Gaza is controlled. There's no independence, none. None. Israel's not allowing, so far, has not been allowing journalists to go in. They now say they might. The only ones we know from an affiliate would be Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera is the mouthpiece of the Muslim Brotherhood. They're in bed with Hamas. Everything out of Hamas is controlled. If anyone is independent, they will be thrown out.
Big news now is at Al Jazeera, several of them, journalists, quote-unquote journalists, one of them very well-known journalist, was killed in an airstrike. IDF is saying that he was actually an operative. He operated a cell, was taking a salary from Hamas. This stuff happens?
This is every day. This is everybody. That's what I mean by there's no independence. They're all part of the apparatus of Hamas. Even when you say the Gaza Health Ministry, there's no such thing. It's the Hamas Health Ministry. There's no independent Gaza Health Ministry. Hamas controls every single aspect of life. Every single aspect of life.
This is a little bit of an inside newsroom, but I think it's important for people to understand what goes on because, again, if it's coming from the health ministry, if it's coming from Gaza, and then it gets sent to what? The people that connect with AP, right? These are their stringers, as we say in the business. And then everybody, the entire global media relies on the AP.
Absolutely.
And it gets disseminated through the AP. Does AP have an agenda?
Again, they couldn't operate, their stringer couldn't operate if they weren't playing the game. So when Hamas releases numbers, whether it's starvation, numbers of killed, etc., they're making up numbers. They're making up numbers. And it just gets repeated and repeated and repeated. You ask, does AP have an agenda? Journalism as a whole is pretty much a dead business as it was once looked at, which was search for truth, stating facts, reporting facts, getting two sides of a story. Here it's whatever they're told, they'll repeat. Not so much what Israel tells them they'll repeat, but certainly whatever Hamas tells them. If you're not telling the story that Hamas is a terrorist organization, then you're not telling the story. You're doing their bidding. You are helping them in putting out false information whose total objective is to make Israel look bad.
Now, Netanyahu, in one of his recent press conferences, has said he will allow foreign journalists to go into Gaza. So a lot of people have been wondering up to this point, okay, well, open the floodgates so we can go in and seek the truth. But you gave me an interesting take in there, given by your experience as a journalist here in Jerusalem.
There's a problem. I mean, as a journalist, of course, you want access, you want to be able to tell the story. If a Western journalist is killed in any way, the outpour and anger will be even greater. And that's my fear.
So for anybody watching, listening right now, where do you get information that you feel you could trust?
Excellent question. Everyone has to go find their own. Because of social media, you can find information from all kinds of outlets or individuals. Mm-hmm. You can't trust the mainstream media. You just can't. You just can't. They're concerned more with first not with facts.
Elli, thanks so much for your time and your insight. 50 years in journalism you should know.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.